On today's episode of The Real DJ Show.
I might just be a baby DJ.
How's that go?
Baby DJ.
Like in the 90s, I would DJ a lot of raves, so I'd go by DJ Lextasy.
Got it.
Lextasy. See
Got
what I
it.
did
Got
there?
it.
We got it, Rich.
You're not in the stylist
You're the
business
anomaly,
like
Rich.
Stella's
Okay?
Bridal. Hey, everybody. So, it's the Real DJ Show. I'm kind of alone right now. Any friends, Mickey?
It's the Real DJ Show!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Rich Cranston, and welcome back to the Real DJ Show, where if you're like the tenant who just complained to our landlord that the music's too loud, then you're too old, and we believe the same too. John Roach?
That was a fun conversation between episodes with the landlord. Hey, man. If you, what's that saying? If you're not redlining, you're not headlining?
Yeah, that's it. So hit the likes, hit the subscribe, whatever you got to do. Comment below. It helps us either way.
Keeping us on the air, we have Mickey in the box. What's up, Mickey? Hey, we feel like we've done a lot of these, but it hasn't been.
It's all refreshing because it's just nice just seeing other DJs.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I look so much forward to conventions and whatnot, and just kind of networking with people. And I mean, we're meeting people from all around the globe. We had California earlier. We're in Utah today.
We are in Utah. Speaking of which, as you guys know, this show is about and for the private event and mobile DJs. So we start off every show visiting and highlighting someone out there who's grinding and killing it. We call that segment The One Thing. So, Mickey, spin the one thing for me.
Let's go. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest.
And all the way from southern Utah is our friend DJ Lex. Lex, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. This is my new day job now.
I love that.
Dude, that thing's getting me fired up.
Every time I look at that, I'm thinking of Doc Brown. Money.
We have
there's
serious shit.
That DeLorean always drives through the background. It's kind of awkward, but
I love it.
But yeah, here, let me make it a little bit more
get
clear.
up close.
Money.
There we go. Turn off my spotlights. There we go.
Dude, that's a
How you
great
guys doing?
setup.
Well, we'd love getting you in your element, man.
Well, look, man, we've enjoyed a lot of the media we've checked out before this interview. You're killing out there, man. Talk about a little bit. I mean, we'll get to the one thing here in a second. But give us a little bit of the origin story, right? The superhero origin story of DJ Lex.
Well, in the 80s, I was a music collector, and if you were a music collector in the 80s, that explains it. You were the guy that had the physical media to show up at all the parties. Everyone's saying, "Hey, you own the records, you own the come DJ for us," and I would borrow a turntable from one friend, borrow a turntable from another friend. That was in the high school days, then ended up in college, and college kind of gets you a little bit more focused, joined the radio program, and then that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just kind of went from a hobby into a career.
So I have to ask you, the 80s reference, is that where you came up with DJ Lex and DJ Bueller?
Well, DJ Lex is my real name.
Okay.
And so I in the 90s, I would DJ a lot of raves, so I'd go by DJ Lextasy. Lextasy. See what I did there?
I got you. It's cool to have. I mean, look, you're starting though with a really cool first name.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't pull that off. DJ John sounds like your dentist.
Well, yeah, I didn't know if Lex was like a stage name or something, or just it's really good. It's really good.
Lex, one of the things I've enjoyed about checking out your socials and stuff before we got on is that you've been killing it. I mean, the pandemic has been awful for all of us, of course, but you've been killing a lot of streaming. Talk about and look, your setup, dude, is absolutely sick for streaming. Talk to us about what you've been doing online.
Well, sure. When I used to doing a lot of corporate events, traveling every year all over the U.S. And so 2020 was horrible. Everyone canceled, the entire year within a week. And so to keep my sanity, I was like, oh, there's this new thing called Twitch. Let's start, broadcasting on Twitch.
Yeah.
And then I realized no one liked looking, a webcam up your nose of a middle-aged DJ is not really fun to look at, no matter how good their mix is.
Yeah.
And so I'm also a graphic designer, and that's when I kind of came up with what you see here, saying, hey, let's actually get a green screen. Let's do some virtual stages. I always wanted flamethrowers. I've got flamethrowers now. So
that's right.
So I took that performance as, DJ Lex, and then DJ Bueller, my other persona, was actually a production team, myself and Aaron Schofield. DJ Bueller is a show on satellite radio, the Saturday Night Safety Dance with DJ Bueller. It's an 80s mix show, classic alternative, new wave.
Nice.
And that has a really big online following. It's just Gen Xers.
Yeah,
so it's really hard to get them anywhere off of Facebook. So I started doing this 80s video mix, Weird Wednesday with DJ Bueller, and started doing an 80s video mix and bringing over all the Gen Xers from Facebook to Twitch. And that I will probably continue to do this show forever now. And then still hopefully go out to the clubs, when they open later this year, next year.
Well, the Sirius show was great, by the way. I didn't know that was you. I didn't put the connection together until you said that. But that radio show was great. I mean, for dudes my age, that show is fantastic. So excellent work.
And it's always nice to see something positive come out of something that's negative.
Oh yeah, this was definitely, and just to plug, this is called VJ Tracks. Actually, there's probably a little watermark, the little VJ Tracks logo in there, which is kind of the technology and that you're seeing. That, I mean, I would have been depressed and like, oh, I can't believe it, I can't work anymore. I have been the opposite. I've been excited all through 2020, like wake up at 7:00 in the morning. Oh, I just came up with how to do flamethrowers and lasers. And
I love that.
It's been a completely turning lemons into lemonade experience for me. So I'm pumped, but I'm still ready to go out into the real world again, but I'm still having fun, in front of a green screen.
That's very inspirational, man. Nice job.
Well, I tell you what's
Seriously.
great. I mean, we're lucky to have had a bunch of talented people on this segment, The One Thing, and we're stoked about that. And I would say, look, we all have learned something from this that we're going to carry past the pandemic. We've broken some thought processes. You get in ruts, right? I mean, there's only one way to do something, and then the pandemic has threw us this curveball. But I think we've all come out of it with either some tools or some talents or a way we're doing business that will last, post-COVID.
No, you just got to do that. I mean, if you're in business for yourself, you've got to be able to evolve.
Yep. So speaking of evolution and what makes your business different, this segment is called The One Thing. So we're bugging guys like you to give us, what's the secret sauce, Lex? What is the one thing about DJ Lex, DJ Bueller that sets you guys apart?
So I would have to say, and this is something that I learned at one of the DJ shows. I used to, go to I'm right over the border from Vegas. So I always used to go to the Vegas DJ show and all of that.
Sure.
I can't remember who it was. Maybe you can tell me. But one of the biggest takeaways several years ago, he said, it was pretty much he says, sell talent, don't sell services. And to me, I really thought about that because I'm also a mobile DJ.
Right.
And really everyone is trying to sell like a price list of services. I offer lighting for this. I offer a wedding for this. And said, that's all you're doing is cutting yourself lower and lower against your competition. Sell entertainment, sell talent. And so that's when I said, oh, I'm going to create this, like the steampunk DJ booth. That's something no one has ever seen. It's like an actual DJ booth with spinning cogs and phonograph horns on it, and the vertical fog machines and giant pipes. And people aren't going to they can't compare that on another person's price list. They just say, I want that. I'll pay for it. How much is it? And then that's
Love it.
And same thing kind of with the DJ Bueller stuff. I make giant Space Invaders out of truss, and people go, I've never seen this before. I want this. So instead of saying I charge X amount for a DJ gig, I say I have this entertainment package, and I sell the package instead of price points. So that's how completely changed my DJ career around.
Love that.
I was stoked that you found that at a convention, because we had Joe Bunn on a couple episodes ago. And we're having that discussion about, going to the Vegas Mobile Beach show. And then for years, you kind of had to sift through, content that just didn't apply to forward-thinking people.
Yeah.
Not to bash the show. We always went. They were great. But you had to kind of find those things. That sounded like a very Joe Bunn thing you said. That might have been one of his
Well, it's
his
definitely true.
conferences.
I mean, it's not about talking about equipment or what type of gear you use or what type of tech you're using. It's just about the experience, and that's what you have to try to assimilate and pass on to them because that's really what they're going to buy.
Which is exactly why we're doing the one thing.
Yeah.
To hear what those secret sauce things are.
Good for you, man.
From talented people like Lex. Well, Lex, hey man, we really appreciate your time. Man, you killed it. We're excited to see more. What do you want to plug? This is your free time to plug.
Well, want to plug DJ Lex Steampunk DJ booth with Electro Swing mashups. That's a show that I produce. I want to plug the DJ Bueller 80s mashup video party. That's something that I want to bring into the real world. And then of course, VJ Tracks, which is this cool technology and with flamethrowers.
It really is wild. I like the flamethrowers.
Good for you, man.
Let's kill our.
Well,
you're doing
God
a great
bless.
job, man.
You're doing a great job, and keep learning, man. Don't stop that.
We'd love to have you
Well,
back.
thank you. Appreciate it.
It was nice meeting you.
Good meeting you.
Have a good season.
Hey, so that was DJ Lex.
Yeah.
And so we always ask our one thing guests to give their socials, right, to plug where we can find them. And I guess we just take for granted in 2021 that everyone understands the importance of building a brand
There
on
are some
social
people
media.
out there who don't have that feeling of embracement, for sure.
Or at least have started and maybe just haven't fully embraced
I
it
don't
yet.
need it, or I have enough business.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'll preface that we embrace having social media presence. That's
We
not
do.
what we're saying. But
But-
there are some people out there who have not, and here's the danger.
Yeah, I think that we discovered that, right? We've kind of reached out to other DJ companies to highlight them in our one thing, and we've had some great conversations. But through those conversations figured out like, hey, not everybody's there.
There was a comment thrown that I don't need to know what people have just ate.
Right, that was their stance on social media.
They're not gonna like my page.
Right.
That's the
So
thing.
They're not gonna
chiming
like
in
my
here.
page.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We're excited to introduce our guest who's chiming in here.
What's up,
Our
boys?
friend who has truly embraced social media.
Truly.
She's
Now
embraced
you know
her
what
baked
I
lays
ate.
too
She's
for lunch.
embraced the chips. Is our friend Stella from Stella's Bridal, who's got killer social media branding. What's up, Stella?
What's up, boys?
How you doing?
So we're excited to have you on with us today. And hey, we've recorded another podcast with you today, but we thought it would be cool to keep you for this conversation because you kill it in the social media
John,
branding.
you're being so sweet.
No, but here's the thing. You don't have to have 10,000, 25,000 followers to have a good presence online.
Absolutely.
Right?
No.
I mean,
Absolutely.
and-
We have super engaged clientele. And so that is what will set you apart. Is it's so scary when you hop on Instagram and what do people say? They're like, oh my gosh, you've got like 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, and they must be doing something, right? Doesn't have to
but
be
how
like
many
that.
of those are real?
They're not
that's
real.
true.
That's the thing.
They're not real.
That's the thing. It's all window dressing.
So I think
Unless you're getting paid by huge corporations, they're not real.
I can't pay for anybody. So I think as in most things, when you're trying something new or you're breaking into a space or trying to, shake your preconceived notion about something, the first step are the hardest, right? The first steps in the space. So do you have any advice for a DJ that does not have a strong social media, but you want them to start building that brand? What would be some foundational steps?
How much time do we have?
Very limited.
Very
short and sweet.
limited. You guys, John keeps us on schedule, and if we go off even
We are
by
on-
like
he's the
a
camp
few
counselor.
minutes, he's just like, okay, next topic point. Like, let's slow
Hey, I
it
respect
down.
your time and others' time, so I want to get the good.
And you know
stuff.
what? This is a good part of your business. I love
Okay.
that point, John.
So,
Okay,
early steps.
hit it again.
Yeah. So someone who's just getting started, they know they should have a stronger brand on social media.
Sure.
But just haven't got. What were some very early foundational steps? What were those first steps?
Here's the thing, okay? Don't do what Mama Stell did, first of all. I mean, you can, but this is what I would not do. I would not try and take my own photos and use these presets that you can purchase and try and edit my own photos, okay? Here's the thing. I mean, we can get into this if you want to, but I feel that websites are dated. Do you really need a website? I don't really know anymore.
Interesting.
I really feel that Instagram is where our consumer is shopping right now, especially for our industry.
There's data
okay?
that bears that up to be true.
So, I mean, they're not going on, Google.com and they're typing in your business name. No, they're on Instagram and then Facebook, but really even Facebook's getting pushed out and it's really Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Okay. If you want my personal opinion. So here's the thing. Instead of spending all those advertising dollars on someone who creates your website, sorry to that person. Maybe just reel it back a little bit and start putting those advertising dollars into your Instagram feed with professional photos.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
For our metrics at Encore, I know that we have more website hits than Instagram hits. That trend is going to change. I also know that.
Yes.
Well,
You're looking around like,
as our client,
well, you're not a real business, Rich.
We got it, Rich.
You're not in
No.
the
You're
stylist
the anomaly,
business like
Rich.
Stella's
Okay,
Bridal.
like
No,
you're
but I'll
so
tell you this. It's
cool.
funny. It
I
reminds
have
me
a
of Matthew
website, too.
McConaughey in Dazed and Confused.
Yes.
Where
Absolutely.
they say I keep getting older, they stay the same age.
Yeah.
Well, that is true of our clients too. That okay, right now that the demographic of people getting married, they may still have a large segment that uses a website, but there's a huge
Oh my gosh.
segment of clientele for the wedding industry that's coming.
It's a
that
deluge.
Instagram is where they go for everything.
Deluge. And YouTube.
What to eat?
Yeah.
Well,
TikTok.
Here we are.
YouTube and
All right, so Stella,
TikTok.
so something that I've always appreciated about your social media is,
Thank you.
which I got to learn, because when I post something about Encore, it's about Encore. It's a picture of the office. It's
Yeah.
a picture of somebody DJing, whatever. So I think what's great about your social media presence is that most of it's not even just about the core business. It's about wellness or health or something inspirational or
Day
whatever.
of life type of stuff.
Absolutely.
There's got to be magic in that, right?
Here's the thing. You want to keep it as real as possible, because I can go on a ton of bridal Instagram pages and it's gown after gown of brides on their actual wedding day. And that is also important. Don't get me wrong. But to make your whole page about brides of their wedding day, that doesn't tell me a lot about your business, right? And I'm coming to your page on Instagram because I want to know about your business and what's your lifestyle, what's your
Yes.
vibe, what's your motto, right? So I'm going to go on Instagram for Stella's Bridal and I'm going to see pics of brides on their wedding day, but you're going to see a lot of me too. And you're going to see me more so on stories. And that is how your bride and your consumer are going to shop. They're going to watch your stories. I don't even go on content, to be
1,000%.
completely honest.
People want to see behind the scenes that you're a real
Yeah,
person.
Rich.
Because here's the thing. Facebook
They
is
do
so
wanna see me eating.
Facebook, social media is so fake. We have filters. We have all this. Oh my gosh, what a perfect life! I want
We'll
to.
teach you
yearn
great
to
poses.
Be, right? Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's totally not. They want to see the day of life. That's why blooper reels are so popular.
No,
in
I'm with
movies,
you.
right? Yeah,
I agree. I mean, look, I'm a little older than you guys, and have been in our career more resistant to the understanding of the
Yes.
value of.
I
you
remember
post-
the discussion we had about Facebook, about how we don't need Facebook.
I'm on
Remember that
Facebook.
conversation?
Yeah,
Just
that's a
letting
long
you guys
time ago.
know.
I mean more about now. I mean, like the showing of some day-to-day thing that you're doing. I'm like, okay, do I get that? But I will tell you now, as I realize, what we've always known is that when people choose us generally as a DJ,
Yes.
they're choosing us based on a personality, right? I liked that person. Like
Here
I
we
got
go.
along
Yep.
with Rich. I liked John's personality. I mean, half of my business plan is getting out there and making friends with
Yes.
people in the position to refer
And
me.
you do that very well.
Mostly because they like us, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same. I mean, is that not the same thing? Is like these stories
John-
are about getting someone to like you.
Absolutely. I could literally put up a post on our stories about a sale that we're having or a trunk show that we're having with a designer. And do you want to know what happens from that? I literally get DM after DM of brides just saying, "Oh my God, Stella, how do you curl your hair? Who does your lips? What's your skincare?" Like that builds trust though
Yeah.
with your clientele as well, because I'm going to take the time and now tell them and give them advice and tell them, "Oh my God, I'm so excited for you." Having those one-on-one conversations. And that is so important in the transition of your sale from when they come in and meet you and they're going to sign up for your
Yes.
DJ company and they want you on their wedding day. But I want to feel trust in who you are. So when you show up on my wedding day, that you are going to show
My
up
gosh.
for me.
That's so
right?
true. I just had two brides
Don't get me
reach
started.
out
I
to
get
me,
very
comment.
passionate about this.
Kira and Taylor, oh my gosh, can't wait for our day. I put something up
Yeah.
musically on my personal page, and they both personally responded, oh my gosh, can't wait. You know, it's going to be
Yes.
awesome. And there was a little banter back and forth.
Well,
they loved
XOs,
that.
I think-
XOs, and like
And they-
all the little heart emojis.
And they deserve that.
They do.
They deserve that.
Well, I
That's the
think we're
problem.
speaking to the likelihood that there's a DJ out there, a DJ company that's, okay, we need to embrace social media. And so their first inclination, like would have been mine, is, okay, let's post about a special we're having, or let's post about, hey, we have the best speakers, or, posting something business related, and they get no
No way.
engagement. Because
Because they don't want to be
they
sold.
don't care. People are scrolling right past, hey,
You
I
have to
got
know your target
an April
market.
special.
Right? Doesn't
Well,
it
there's no
come back
emotion
down
in
to
it,
like
right?
sales 101?
Sure.
There's no emotion.
And they're not going into social media to be sold. They're going to social media to be
Right.
entertained.
Absolutely.
So one thing I noticed about your socials, not that I'm stalking you,
Which page are we referring to?
all of them. Well, this is the point. Okay, you got the guy.
This is the after show,
You
right,
just
guys?
set me up. You set me up just like a volleyball. Because the thing is, you have multiple platforms that seem to be working together.
Yeah.
How do you manage that? Because look, what I know is that people want predictability. They want to know that there's content always coming. You know, when we're building this YouTube channel, I know that we have to release this thing every Friday so people get used to, getting new content.
Sure.
How do you manage? Do you use like some kind of dashboard that goes out to all your platforms at once, or how do you manage all these platforms, all at one time? I mean, how do you manage all that?
So to answer that, the long of the short story is that you do have to do some research, okay? You can't just go out there and take a picture and, put it up there and hope that it's just going to be seen by all these people. Consistency is key, but that's in anything, right? So you don't have to be this huge Instagram influencer to obtain followers and likes, but you just have to be smart and you have to do your research. So you could either, if you have the means to it, hire somebody who does know social media a little bit more than you do. But if you don't, which a lot of people don't, I'll be honest, and they handle their own accounts, like me, you just have to be smart. So do the research. How many hashtags can I have in each post? How many tags of other accounts can I put into each picture, right? And making sure that it's just a nice professional photo, because I see so often these people who post these sloppy photos. I'm like, hello, do you see the background? Like, this does not look cute. So just keep it clean, keep it simple, keep it basic. You can always do 30 hashtags, 20 tags. That's a little insight on Instagram.
Really?
For each
30
post.
hashtags?
30 hashtags
I
and
don't know, 30
20
words.
tags of actual other accounts that you can pop into your post, and that's going to make you seen more. However, you want to keep it consistent. You want to keep going to those certain accounts, so that way it's consistency, and you're going to go from the bottom of the well and you're going to start to pop back up. And I promote a lot of posts, so I'll put it out there organically, see how many likes we get, and then I'll put a little advertising dollar behind it and push it and promote it, so it gets
put a
even
pin
more.
in that.
Can I ask a
about,
question?
about paying for the advertising? Put a pin in that.
So I hit myself with my own newspaper if I don't post once a day.
Quite literally.
I do. And let alone I've got to come up with 30 effing hashtags.
To be honest, they actually suggest like 3 posts a day now. I feel like that is just so extreme. And knowing the time of day, I mean, are you trying to be an influencer or are you trying to be, Encore Events, right? You got to pick and choose at the end of the day. So it's very intimidating.
I just want to be relevant.
But what'd you say, Rich?
I just want to be relevant.
You want to be relevant.
I want to be present.
One post a day is always great. If you can do more.
You see the face? The face that she made?
But if you want to really come to the party, you got to do 3.
One piece of flair
Holy
is
crap,
great,
dude.
and that's the minimum, is one piece of flair.
One piece of flair.
Office
Stories.
space? Anybody?
Screw the content feed for a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I don't really actually go to people's actual pages anymore. I just watch stories.
Really?
And I'm not going to lie. There's a little bit of an age gap, guys. So I'd take my advice.
I'm listening to her. All right, so something you
I'm
did.
sorry, John. They're having bingo
Stella's
at
out.
the Elks Club.
I'm there.
It's noon. I got to go.
Correct. Hey, so something you said there, I wanted to come back to,
Sure.
which was about putting some advertising dollars into that. I
Yep.
think that we've had mixed results with paying for that. When do you know when to do that? What kind of post are you paying for, and what have you had the best success with when you're putting advertising dollars into your social media? Like, what's the way to do that? What's the secret sauce of that?
Sure. So here's the thing. When you block out time to invest in a photographer and you're going to do a styled shoot, basically it's going to be Instagram worthy photos, and you're going to have someone local, hopefully, that you can support who's a photographer, and you're going to have them take as many images that you can get, so that way you can pump up your content feed. So you're going to get as many different options as possible. Try and change your outfit if you can, because obviously if you're paying a photographer and you just have the same outfit you have on right now, John, and you're going to post that for the next 30 days, it looks a little suspect. So, you're going to plan out one day where you hire a professional photographer. You're going to do as many outfit changes as you can, and you're going to have it be specifically about your brand, but also about you. Create some of your personality, because it's not just about what you're selling. It's about who you are and who's showing up on my wedding day. And that builds trust, right?
What's your experience with actually spending money on the platforms, like buying like promoted?
I mean, it's a huge change. I mean, you go from several hundred likes to thousands of likes if you just promote it to the right audience in your area. Here's the thing, too. I just want to touch on real quick. Everybody thinks that it has to be like so much bigger than what it is. Just start in your backyard. Just collab like what we're doing today. We're taking local businesses and we're congregating together and we're just talking about our industry. Just start in your backyard. It doesn't have to be this huge, you know, oh my God, we got to fly here or go do this, or I got to get the best photographer. Just find somebody who has a professional
Hold on a second.
camera.
Hold on. We don't have to fly here and do this. I'm going to call you out of that because you are the
That's for my
face of
other
Wanderlust right now. I've seen you in wedding dresses, in deserts, on Jeeps. What do
Rich,
you mean
I'm
you don't have to
talking
fly?
about people who are first entry level, okay?
Yeah,
They're not
okay.
at my level.
You got to get to her level in the desert with a lizard
Jeez, my God.
and a
Okay.
snake.
I've seen you in more cabins than
You've
VRBO.
seen a lot of me on Wanderlust,
My
that's for
gosh.
sure.
Okay. Hey, so we don't want to give away the whole cow when you can buy the milk, but Stella, where can people find you if they have
I'm
questions or
lactose
they want
intolerant.
to get some mentoring on this? How do they find you?
How do they find me? You can find me at Stella's Bridal on Instagram or at Stella Jones Style. Google me, just not too deep.
Just don't go to
Do
the
you
website.
offer counseling on social media?
Basically,
On
I am a
social media?
counselor.
Like,
On social
for
media?
small businesses.
What do you mean about that?
No,
you should.
Can you coach? Can you? If there's a small business out there that like, I don't have enough time, because you're talking about all this like social media stuff. Where
Yeah.
I know if it's a single operator, they're paralyzed right now.
Yeah.
If they're still watching this, I don't have enough time for that. Do you offer help on this?
Yeah, so you can always reach out to me. You can DM me, and I do consulting services. And if you are also, I mean, I know we're talking about like really your industry today, but if you are a bride who's also just totally lost, and you can click on my website link in bio, and it'll navigate you to a whole 911 bridal helpline.
Thank you, Stella. I appreciate that.
That was a great segment.
That was very good. Speaking of segments, we have an issue
There's an issue
at hand
Of course,
that
there
I'm going to
is.
slap you around for this episode of BPM.
That's a lot of talkie.
Hit it, Mickey.
No more talkie.
Use the BPM video.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the box.
All right, so this is BPM, your favorite game show of DJ debates. We call it BPM because Rich and I get 1 minute to debate a topic that Mickey pulls out of the golden spinning wheel of death. And then our friend Jordan, who's with us. Hey, Jordan.
And she has greenery to throw. So if you get whacked in the back of the head with a potted plant,
Is that good? Does that mean I got a
you
point?
said that is the wrong thing.
All right, so Jordan Rakowitz. And
Let's do it.
she's with us. Let's go.
All right, Mickey, roll it.
All right, this one is an agree or disagree. Here's your statement. It's okay if column array speakers don't sound quite as good as typical loudspeakers. They sound good enough, and the look and transportability is more important.
Poop.
Agree or disagree?
So I think I disagree. The fact that column array, they have to sound good, which is the reason why we have. Well, they're not sponsoring us, so I'm not going to mention the names.
Sure.
So that's the reason
Maybe
why we
someday.
haven't gone that way route, because I love column array speakers. They look great. Transportability is awesome, but they sound like ass. And that's the reason why we have powered speakers that are not arrayed.
Yeah.
End of story. I got nothing else, man.
Yeah, no, I look, I understand. And it's similar to the question we have always tackled about, like, is advanced mixing techniques important at a wedding? Because who cares the most about that? Probably another DJ. So the sound difference between some of the best column array speakers and the more typical speakers that we like to use, like QSCs. They're not sponsoring this either, but I love those. We love those. Hey, QSC. The difference is probably small enough now that I understand the argument. But to me, I still think they sound enough better. The typical loudspeaker still sounds enough better that I haven't wanted to switch yet. The one pair of column array speakers we bought, because they did sound good, they no longer make them.
Yeah.
And as they're starting to fail now, we have no replacement. So I think I'm bought in that, yes, a column speaker looks good. It's great. We want to move that way. We haven't pulled the trigger yet because they still have, I don't think it's not close enough in sound.
Right.
But I get the argument that for some, it's close enough, and who probably cares more than us?
I mean,
Nobody.
we bought, we must have purchased, I don't know, dozen speakers between like last year and this year?
Yeah.
And how many times have we had that discussion? Look at this column array, man. Look at and it's just not going to fill the room. I mean, you do have to have depth, right? Because we're not always in the same room. So we do have to have that depth, but even that wasn't enough.
I was at a wedding with a very prominent DJ and used those column array speakers. And it was a big, crazy room. And
there were 2 pairs. There were 4 speakers.
And up close, it's pretty good. But, man, that thing diminishes. I just haven't gotten there yet. I haven't seen it happen yet for me.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, not to be contrarian to you, but I understand that they are super transportable. The look is great. We want to buy in. I want to buy in.
Yeah.
And so I get it that the sound difference to the layperson may not matter enough. So I get why DJs do it.
And he's not pointing at you when he says layperson. What say you, Jordan?
I honestly don't know that much. I'm still learning all equipment. So, but I mean, John's answered. He seemed to back his point up very well today. So.
Oh, well, thanks. Very good. Yeah. Well, make a better column array speaker, everybody. All right. What else you got, Mick?
All right. Let's
Jordan,
see what
do
we
your
got,
little
y'all.
feet.
More important to your photo booth business, lowest possible cost of operation, or offer the most features for best marketability?
So, like most of these either or questions we get, the answer is somewhere in the middle. 10 years ago, it was about feature because you could still command a pretty high price point. They were still kind of a novelty thing and people would pay a lot for them. Photo booths now are so prevalent, it becomes such a commodity item that most of the time what I'm facing when I'm facing someone else's photo booth is pricing, not like feature for feature difference. However, I think there's still some basic necessities of features that you need to have to sell your photo booth. One, I think the DIY ones and or the drop-off, no attendant, self-serve stations are still at a significant disadvantage when I'm talking about a feature of our booth versus someone else's. However, in the space of a fully attended photo booth, no one cares about features anymore. It's a commodity item. They want the lowest priced one.
Yes, agreed. It has to be the lowest cost of operation for the business. I have not had one person that has reached out. Yeah, I'm looking for a photo booth with we want to do a GIF. Or do you have one with a green screen?
Right.
2 calls a year for video booths, right? I mean, so we need to have the lowest cost option for the business end, and we still want to send out a human attendant. The selfie stations, they're a disaster waiting to happen. Jordan, you are the queen of photo booths. What do you have to offer here?
What's your opinion on that?
I like features because that's where everybody's going towards, but you also want to keep the classic. The more features you add, obviously, the more cost it is to the business, the more that it's going to go towards the consumer, which is not really a good thing. But I feel like, yeah, it's in the middle. You want to still stay on top of what you are bringing to the table and beating out the other competitors that are doing photo booths. But you still want to not make it so expensive that it's deterring anyone from your business.
By the way, so you are the resident technical expert when it comes to photo booth issues. Even on your day off, we called you when you were on a wine tour.
Hey, Jordan.
Yeah,
So when you have more software, more features, and you have more software, typically leads to more problems, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you have some hourly employee who's just doing this thing a couple times a month, trying to solve why isn't the green screen. That's just give me the photo.
You know what else causes more problems? More money. Next! I'm feeling it today. Let's go.
Oh boy.
We might have to do a 4-question BPM because this is going way too fast. I'm just way too right today.
Agree or disagree with this statement? COVID has shown us a better way. We are never going back to in-person initial presentations again.
Disagree because you said the word never. However, if never was not in there, frankly, both personally and professionally, COVID was the probably best year of my life. I think COVID forced us to think outside the box and do things better. Again, both personally and professionally. But when it comes to in-person presentations. I mean, the frequency at which we're doing not in person is ginormous. I mean, we can do a three-peat, and that variable can go on, right? So I want to say never, because we just had a client that emailed the other day that specifically wanted to meet in person. I think it's very important to have a brick and mortar space to show the legitimacy of the operation, and typically DJs are in mom's basement, so when they see a loft like this, it's pretty pimp, right? So
I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm not going to go so far as to say COVID was the best year of my life. Holy sh! Get the box ready. Holy sh! That's a big statement. But to me, I don't know if this is agreeing or disagreeing. It's probably like normal, somewhere in the middle of agreeing. Look, I think it's much closer to never than not never. We get better close ratios. We get better attendance in so much that like the amount of no-shows has gone way down. The accountability of, that they're going to show up is much higher. You're sending them a link. It's easier. You can turn it around faster. I think the scariest part for me about an in-person consultation is how long it takes to line up somebody's schedule to get them in here. And in the meantime, has somebody sent them a menu and a price list and they booked it, right? So the speed at which I can churn clients is much faster. And so while, yes, I agree that a brick and mortar space is absolutely essential, I think, in at least the business that we're in, and that there will be people that just like to meet in person. I think there's other ways to use the space besides that initial meeting. For me, it's about how fast can I get to them?
Yep.
How fast can I turn them? And for me, it is much closer to never than it is not never.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And before we go to Jordan, what I meant by best year is the most gains. Is what I'm saying. The movement. COVID sucked.
I was messing with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was cool.
Jordan.
I really do agree with John. You guys probably turned out better having Zoom IPs versus in-person IPs, because he did make a valid point. People in the winter are not going anywhere, and just where we used to be, that was so hard for people to get there. Would have been easier if we were able to do online IPs or online in general, just meeting people online. I do understand the value of an actual physical space to show people, but online is faster. Like he said,
I don't even know if she's listening to you. Take your earplugs out when I talk, though, because I did make similar points, but you keep on pointing at John.
Well, here's what I think, though, is just to kind of turn back around on that. Like, for me, I'm almost worried now. I'm thinking about the incredible sales year we just had. It was incredible. So I get you when you say it was the best year of my life. Like, okay, yeah, from like a results standpoint, it was insane. It makes me worried because we used to be such believers, like, to the gospel of get them in your building to show them the differentiation, right? Like, they've got to see a space. Okay, this is legit business. But now I'm more worried, like, how many people that we try to force into that. Like, nope, no pricing unless you come in. Got to come to see the space. I'd really prefer not to do a phone call. Get in here. I mean, what kind of conversion rates did we lose, by that when, like, man, we opened up to a Zoom and like the floodgates open.
Well, I don't think we've lost anything because the key factor here is person to person, right? That's what they want to see,
right?
Not person to telephone. So it just voices one-dimensional conversation, right? So you have. It was more socially acceptable to do a video call. More people started doing it, so it wasn't so foreign to everybody, right? So that was the ability to meet person to person. And I definitely think that's the new norm.
Sure,
but
it's just hindsight,
it is
right?
worrisome.
Like, we didn't know what we didn't know,
right?
But like thinking back, like, man, had we been the pioneers 5 years ago, of doing, I mean, Zoom existed 5 years ago, so nobody used it because Skype or whatever,
right? Yeah.
Like, why didn't we figure? Like, of course, you can second guess them. Why didn't we figure that out and like to be ahead of that game?
But even if we did, it wouldn't have been socially acceptable. I remember talking to Clint Huft when I was speaking for MBA. He's like, "Can you Skype?" I'm like, "Ugh, what?
Sure, no,
Mickey, how do I Skype?" And we got to go through this. I'm like, "This is a pain in the ass."
No, I get it. That's true,
right?
That's true.
So, I mean, it's more socially acceptable now. And talk about frequency. I mean, it's crazy.
And I guess the last point to make on this is, like I still think having a home field advantage is important. I mean, look,
Right.
we just gave a presentation about that at Mobile Beat about the home field advantage. You just got to find more interesting ways to use your space as backup to the presentation. But as important it is to get to somebody fast before somebody else does.
Yeah.
Man, it's okay. The space is important later,
But from a
it's
productivity
not up
standpoint,
front. Oh my God, I've got to get them in faster.
Productivity
more
standpoint,
faster.
you're traveling over, you're missing family. Oh, they didn't show up. Oh, the weather, blah blah. I mean, it's crazy. But I mean, you are missing the sights and smell right now, right? Our space smells great.
It does smell good. It
Smells
smells like the
so
Mandalay
you're gonna
Bay
miss
right
that.
now.
But you know, it's almost like writing checks. So like what 5 years ago, writing checks was a standard thing. Now it's so infrequent, and when people
look
do
like
send
you like
checks,
a caveman.
Yeah.
Like, what are you writing? What is that?
And when people do send checks, they send it like certified mail because they're so worried of getting it lost, right? So when I'm making the correlation, checks is like, is it going to be in-person meetings? And online transactions is like video calls now?
Right.
Is it going to be...
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
One more?
I should do one more.
We'll do one more because that was
Yeah.
fast.
Here's a would you rather.
I like would you rathers.
Would you rather have a dance floor that ignites immediately and is jammed for 2/3 of the night and then fizzles out due to exhaustion, or a dance floor that is painfully slow starting out, but the last third is absolutely bananas?
Oh my God, that's
a
hard.
good one.
That's a
good
good one. I think I know what my heart is telling me, and my brain is telling me something different. My brain is telling me that you want to finish strong. Like, you want the lasting memory to be the packed dance floor. The lasting memory you want for the client is everybody left. Holy crazy, that was crazy. In my heart, though, the pain of a slow starting dance floor is debilitating. It just screws with you. You're starting to think of excuses. Why is this not working? You know, sometimes you have those venues where the patio is so pretty.
Yeah.
So the first third of the night,
everyone's out
everyone's
drinking,
by
garring.
fire pits or whatever. You don't
Yep.
get to, those are painful weddings and screw with your head. So I'm guessing I have to say I'd rather have the dance floor that ignites immediately and goes I think the key there is 2/3. If I get 2/3 of that thing is insane, and it's like the diminishment is because of exhaustion. Everybody knows that, like, holy crap, you just burnt that place down. I guess I'd rather have that, although I know in my head that probably the better business answer is that it finished strong. What say you?
So it was 1/3 and 2/3, right, Mickey?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm
Either the
leaning
first-
your way, but
Either the first 2/3 or the last 1/3.
1/3. I got to go with 1/3 because psychologically, in my opinion, I think people are going to remember the lasting memory of that reception and not a slow fizzle. DJs, you've got to realize that dance floors enable you to you can have awesome music, right? But if they're just not into it, they're not a dancing crowd, they're not going to dance. So the sooner you realize that you don't have to, people are going to enjoy, they're going to have fun by just enjoying music, right? Yep. So you need to realize that it's not a personal dig on you. So if you can muscle through those 2/3 of the night, one that gets fired at 1/3, I think they're going to remember that more, and they're going to melt their faces off. And what's going to happen? Those referrals, and oh my gosh, and you bring them over on for your Instagram story and videos and stuff. I mean, it's crazy.
That's a tough question.
It is a tough question,
and we disagreed on that, but I think we're both valid on that.
Yeah.
What would you prefer, Jordan? You're a DJ, and you're facing those two things. And for me, like, I'm getting heart palpitations right now thinking of those slow starts where do 2/3 of the wedding there was no dancing. Mm-hmm. I know you're right. Like, intelligently, I know you're right that, look, people are still having fun if they're not dancing. But that 2/3 you're sitting through is brutal. Brutal.
Yeah.
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 I might just be a baby DJ.
How's that go?
Baby DJ. That's what I am. I'd rather see more people, like, 2/3, honestly. I know what you are saying with having the last third, but the 2/3, just for my sanity and my ego, I just feel like crap if I'm like, nobody's on my floor. Am I playing the wrong
The last
music.
wedding we did together was that same scenario, right? It was a fizzle.
Yeah.
But it was
I'd rather people literally be like, I'm too tired to dance than,
I mean, it wasn't a fizzle, but we had more people in the beginning of the night than
Yeah.
at the end of the night.
yeah.
I mean,
And-
because selfishly in my mind, I can justify, like, I can say to myself, oh, I'm so good that I kicked their ass for 2/3 of that wedding, and they were so exhausted because of
Yeah.
my awesomeness that they fizzled out. I can rectify that in my brain.
yeah.
The last 1/3, although I know intelligently that's probably the best business result because that's the lasting memory, to me it's like, God, every wedding's last third is going to be good. Everyone's all drunk and, you know, I could be nobody DJ and they want the thing to keep going and they're drunk enough now to dance to anything.
Sure, yeah.
It's harder to, you know, justify in my brain, even though it's probably intelligently the best answer. Just, man, I'm just second guessing myself. Yeah, that's tough.
But
That's
I
a
mean,
good
at
one.
least for that beginning portion, though, you're saving all the bangers for later, and
Sure,
it's just
yeah.
nonstop fire for that 1/3. It's just boom, boom, boom. I mean, yeah,
That was a good question. All right.
yeah.
So that was an excellent episode
a
of
wrap.
BPM.
Jordan,
We've got
Thank you.
yeah, thanks, Jordan. What do we got next?
Alrighty, that was a cool segment. So hey, we're gonna do one of our favorites.
Setup Wars.
Setup Wars. Before
And we have some talent.
we do have a talent with us.
He's very
Encore
talented.
personality. Not wearing his favorite shirt of mine. It'll be the animal print porn shirt.
But he does have a necklace.
But Adam
What's
Dibble's
up?
in the
He's got
house.
the
What's up,
hawk.
AD?
What's up? What's up? Like,
Dibs on dibs. I'll dabble with Dibble.
oh, we're gonna be.
Remember that open
That one
house?
client, that one open house.
I
I'll
think
dabble
that-
with Dibble.
I think that client wanted more than DJ service. All right. Give us our first. Okay, now look, we should set this up a little bit. These are not people we know. These images of setups have been submitted by very brave DJs who are looking for some constructive criticism, or we've pulled them off of some
we've
kind of image
scoured
search.
on the internet.
Yeah,
And this
talk
is
about
not about jacking people up. Again, I say this every single week. It's not about jacking people
Support
up.
them.
It's about giving some honest feedback.
Yeah.
You know, so
So Dibs, if you haven't done this before, we're gonna talk about these setups, our initial impression, and then we're gonna score them on a scale of 0 to 10 with decimal points. Use how you will. All right, that's enough setup. All right, Nick,
Good.
show
First
us
picture,
our
let's do
first
it.
image for Setup Wars. Okay,
I know what this is too.
you know who this is?
You actually use
Oh,
this
I
guy?
know.
I know
All
who this
right.
is.
I'll be kind.
Yeah. No.
You know-
Okay. The reason
Or
why,
not.
because we're gonna look like assholes. We're gonna look like assholes.
We're
The
gonna look like the
reason
big
why
boys.
that we're laughing is because this one employee. We don't have many of them.
He's a former employee.
He's a former employee, but he kind of left, giving us the middle finger. Would you say?
Let's give him some honest feedback.
Yeah.
This is someone who used to work for us and is doing his own thing. All right, so I'd love to hear Adam's impression. Adam, if you saw this, tell me your impressions of this setup.
Well, so look, I'm always happy to kind of be here and be overly opinionated about things.
Sure.
And that looks like a disaster.
Okay.
Like that, it looks like a disaster to me. Like, what the hell's going on there? You got one speaker facing the wrong direction. There's like one speaker's facing forward, the other speaker's facing the other way. You got cables all over the damn place, like just hanging there, like nobody's business. This freaking thing in the front of it with, I mean, if you look at the light coming out underneath that thing in the front of it, like what the hell is that lighting up even? It's not even even. That thing looks like a disaster.
I think maybe we shouldn't have told Adam this was a former employee because I think he just took someone's.
Oh, he's loyal.
Or he is
Yeah.
loyal.
Holy
God bless him.
cow.
All right.
I
so-
wouldn't set that up in my garage like that.
Well, apparently the person during wearing the Encore cloth did not learn anything. The
All
way
right.
we do setups. But go ahead.
So some positives, right? First, I think that the fact they've decided to use a facade is a smart move, right?
I think in that situation, yeah, I definitely would be covering up whatever else is probably behind
Sure.
that thing.
I mean, because if all the cables we can see are that bad, the cables underneath the table are going to be a disaster. Okay, so some positives.
All right.
He's using a facade, which I think is the right move. Now, look, stylistically, personally, I'm not a white stretch fabric with a LED light behind it kind of guy. I just think that is a little bit too much of, hey, look at me, I'm the DJ. Look, they've also look. I don't know why if you have a facade, you don't just put your speakers behind the facade. But also, they've decided to drape the bottom of their tripods. They
The
probably have
one thing that they took away from our business
The bottom of
is
the tripod.
they
So-
put the tablecloth on the legs of the damn
I'm not
speaker.
understanding why the bottom of the tripod is draped and the cords from the speakers are hanging all over the place, though.
Okay,
That's my
go
next.
ahead.
That's
Continue.
my next. That's my next thing. Is like if you're gonna drape the tripod, why haven't you run the cable running to the speaker underneath that and then up the tripod so you don't see the cable? There's a lot of things that don't make sense here. If you've watched any episode of this so far, you know how I or we feel about lighting trees, especially this one's like in front of you. That's very strange. The cables from that are just kind of running everywhere. Look, we had, yeah, because you can see the pole going in front of the laptop. I don't know what that laptop's sitting on, some kind of tower of death. I know this guy. He's not that tall. So, like, I don't know, right, what's happening. But I would say there's some building blocks here of some good things that you could work on.
Do you know that person at the carnival with the kick drum and the trumpet and the cymbals and the okay, that's this.
Right, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's it. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, but that's way more organized than this.
Right, because I don't think that guy's scared. Okay. All right, Rich, give this thing a score. Be kind.
I had some fun working with this person. That has no correlation. I just thought I wanted to mention that. Anyways, I give it a 2.
Wow. I think
two.
it's better than that. I mean, I know we've seen some 2s, and I would say that, look, there's a lot that this could be improved upon on this, but there's some building blocks of the right ideas.
If there wasn't the off-roading light tree with the spotlights,
I know.
I probably would have scored it higher. But,
I get it. But there's some building blocks of the right things. So I'm going to give this a 4.
I'm gonna be generous because I just literally ripped this thing apart, and this person probably hates me now. So I'm
He's
gonna
not
say
watching.
I'm gonna say yeah. I'll give it a 4. I'll go with you, John.
Very good.
At least they covered up whatever death was behind that thing.
Yeah. At least they used the facade. Smart move. All right, Nikki.
Yeah.
Let's give us some.
I look like the a-hole. I give him the lowest score. I would still buy him a Corona if I saw him.
Let's bring up one that Rich doesn't know so we can be less vindictive.
It's not vindictive. You're the one who sent him the cease and desist letter.
I'm joking. Sure I did. Get your images that you took while working for us off your website.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Text. Holy smokes. I got to lean in to figure out what's going on.
Oh my god.
Not for nothing. I thought the LED strips on the side of the speakers were interesting. I don't know about if a cool factor, but all right. So a couple things. There's some attempts made to drape shit. They drape the front of the sub. I thought that's pretty careful.
That's very strange.
Yeah. Your laptop stand we got here. We got some business cards. I like that. Very good. The coloring's kind of awkward. Just not really symmetrical.
Adam,
the
what do you
coloring,
think?
Yeah, what's going on?
All right, so I'm gonna be a little more generous than the last one. There's some positive things here, right? Like coloring's not my choice, I guess, but we don't really know what the client chose. Maybe they wanted different colors, so I can be objective about that. It's fairly clean. There's not cables hanging all over the place.
That's a good point.
I don't love the lighting on the speakers. That definitely would not be my choice. Again, maybe we don't really know that person told the client or whatever. So, I mean, cleanliness factor, there's not a lot of stuff hanging all over the place. They do look like they made an attempt to kind of cover that up. So I think that's positive. Again, not really kind of my preference, but
you have stickers on the back of your laptop.
Yes, I do.
They have some signage there. Comment on that.
So my view on that is it really kind of depends on the way that you're utilizing that. And for me, I use it as a way to show off kind of some of my personality with it.
And people don't know it. They have you have band stickers.
Yeah, it's very punk rock. It's very, very punk rock. But
I think what he does is tasteful.
In all fairness, too, when I decided to do that, I have a removable case on it. So if in the event that I need to remove that, I can.
Got it.
So I'm intrigued by the lights on the speakers. I'll be honest. I can't tell by the brand of the speaker if this is something that is a factor. Now I've seen some powered PA speakers that actually do have lights built into the middle of them. I've never seen good powered PA speakers that have that, but I have seen there's a brand or two out there that build in some LEDs into the speakers for whatever reason. Right now, they're Altas. ALTO.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. Maybe these, I'd have to figure out some research if they come like this. Now, it's an intriguing thought to me because I will tell you that I hate lighting trees. I am a DJ who hates a lighting tree. And so what's positive about that? Well, if that
There's no
actually
lighting
is some
tree.
kind of dance floor light and it's built into the speaker and it's high, so it actually makes some impact on a dance floor, and you don't have to have some crazy lighting tree.
But it's shining to the side, though. It's on the side of the speaker.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's hard to tell by the angle that maybe that is kind of pointed forward. Now, look, if this was a DJ's attempt to add a dope mod to their speaker by running some adhesive LED strip to the side of their speaker, okay, I would question the thought of that. But if this is actually built into these speakers and they provide some kind of function, I mean, okay. Look, they at least they think like me. They don't want some crazy lighting tree next to them. It's clean. I don't know why we're draped a subwoofer. I don't know what about that needed to be draped. Maybe we can just put that someplace else. But okay. Look, I hate all white. I think that there will be, like I mentioned this in a previous episode. Like, you know how you can identify a wedding picture taken in the 90s because there is that cloud effect, like silhouette around it. Maybe a half-tone picture of the bride and groom doing a different pose up in the corner and like a half-tone dreamy thing.
I had that grammar school picture.
Sure. And you immediately see that go, okay, that was the 90s or the 80s, right? I think the drape everything in white thing would be remembered by some phase of the early 2000s where you drape everything in white and put an LED light underneath it, that stage. So I think it looks dated because of that. But the positives, look, they've done great wire management. Like, you know, they're inside that crazy scrim on the tripods there. The wires are managed. So some good things going for this person.
It's good. The last couple photos, there was some attempt made to hide the base of the stand.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not.
Yeah,
You're not
agree.
karaoke
Agree.
night at
Yeah.
Applebee's.
All right, Adam, give this thing a score.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 5, like 5 or 5, 6. Fairly clean. Cables are hidden. I like that.
It's a dated aesthetic, but some positive attempts here to do the right things. I'm at a 5.
5.5.
Very good. Let's do one more, man.
5.5. And extra bonus points for actually getting a holder for the business cards. I do like that.
Yeah, actually, I had a vendor, a wedding planner, tell me, like, "Hey, John, you've like put your business cards out. Why don't you get a business card holder?" I'm like, I had to be embarrassing. Told her that I've had 1 million of those things, and I break them or lose them. Rich, there were some years
buying them.
where Rich would buy them for us every year, and for me, it would last about 6 events before I either broke it, it was like stolen by a drunk person, or I lost it.
I still have the same one from 10 years ago.
I don't have one.
All right. Next one, Mickey.
This guy's better DJ than me because he's got a business card holder. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Adam, what do you think? Let you go first. What do you think about that?
You know, it's not bad. It's not. I mean, you can't see the bass. No chords, clean. I like the speakers. I like the look. It's sleek. It's modern. I think maybe I would tone down the amount of uplights right there next to my own booth. It kind of screams like attention-seeking type of thing. But outside of that, like it's really clean. There's no lights hanging all over the place. There's no cables all over the place. Speakers are modern. I mean, yeah, it's not bad.
Rich?
I love the speaker look. You know me. I do like that. The problem is that there's not really a good manufacturer that has nailed it. I just want to give a little special shout out. Thanks, Carvin, for going out of business.
We like theirs. Yeah.
It's awesome. They went out of business and they don't support clients. So anyways, facade, I think a little too much lighting, but I do like the blue. You're trying to use the wine barrels. Kudos to you. We have some, you're taping down some wires and stuff. That's awesome. And you have a facade. Looks good. I like the look. Tone it down on the blue lights a little bit. The blue lights don't match where you are.
That's what I was
you're
about to
in
say.
wood. So this would be really cool if you have like white
amber
behind
too.
you. You know what I mean? I would do an
Yeah.
amber.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't always make up for the poor taste of some client. I don't even say poor taste. The specific taste of some client. So maybe this client has picked, and I can't see the rest of the room. So perhaps the client wanted this kind of aqua blue uplighting for the rest of the room. By the way, I've investigated lights like that, those real small battery-powered, almost pin spot-sized uplights. There's some really cool technology going on with those, and I think that the fact that they have these kind of lights shows that this is a DJ who's good. I mean, I would see this setup and say to myself,
Sure.
okay, this is someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So all the positives you guys have already said. It's super clean. I love all black. If you ask me about that, that's what it should look like. All black. It gets dark in the room when you're partying. It disappears. Like, I mean, the speakers look amazing. We have never found a speaker array. I mean, I know we're last to the ball game on, all those different cool array style. I just never think they sound as good as, full-blown powered speakers. But whatever. It's super clean. This look is great. Yeah, even if, though, the client said they wanted this blue up lighting, this is way too much. I mean, 1, 2, 3 on each barrel, 2 in between the speakers, 2 on the facade. I mean,
maybe it was a baby shower.
I don't know. This is a lot going on from me on that. If those were spread out around the room, great. I think it's a little too much attention on, hey, look at me on the DJ. Yeah. You know how I feel about that. But
would your answer
clean.
change if the arrays were speakers on a stand?
No,
I
think
that changed
great.
the look.
I think it's great. I mean, if those were speakers on a stand, if they had some kind of scrim or drape on the tripods, yeah, I mean,
I love that look.
Same thing. This look is great.
It's good. Nice job.
I wish those speakers sounded as good as full-blown speakers. But
yeah.
If this literally same picture, but it wasn't just so many lights on the DJ, I think I would be feeling way better about it.
Yeah.
Adam, give this thing a score.
I'll give it a 7. It's really clean. I like that.
6.5 for me.
Yeah, I was exactly right. I mean, there's so much. This could have been a 9.
Yeah.
I just think,
got to sharpen a little bit.
It's just a little
things
too
gotta
much
tweak.
on me. I'm a 6.5.
The booth isn't really my style. I mean, I like the open booth look, but like it's clean and everybody is different kind of in what they like.
If the client wants blue, talk them out of blue. They're in a barn.
And that's the thing is, it's. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. But even if those were amber uplights in that concentration, would be better.
It's a lot.
Doesn't match the.
It's like you're, driving ahead and there's a pair
It doesn't match the
high
aesthetic.
beams on
It's
you.
like we're in a barn, but it's a club.
For sure.
Anyway,
we got time for one more.
We do one more.
Zip it, Mickey.
Good practice.
Oh,
what is going on?
There it is. Reminds me of that Casa Larga. I love it.
Mickey, thank you. That's way
I
better.
love it. First off, got some evolves there too. Everything white. I think it's pimp. So I love the fact that you're using haze. I'm jealous of the fact you're using haze since our market sucks.
They're in a barn, so I guess that's how they're getting away with it.
Yeah. So everything looks sick, man. I mean, everything's hidden. Got some pretty cool columns there. Some intelligent movers. Love the evolves. I wish they had more beef behind them. I don't know if those are the 30s or 50s, but yeah, and the pedestal. I mean, DJ furniture is sick. Nice job all around. Would I critique anything? No. Otherwise, I mean, you were in a barn, but we had this look, but it don't matter. It's still hot. Nice job.
Adam?
I think it's dope. Like I may agree with you. I don't really see anything wrong with it. I love the way they have the lighting placement. I love that look when DJs use that type of lighting on top of the stands like that. I think it's really modern. It's simplistic and really modern. I love that furniture piece. I love when DJs have furniture pieces like that where your guests can actually watch you DJing when it's completely open like that. I think that's super unique, very modern. No cables. You can't see any cables anywhere. Super sleek, super modern looking speakers. Yeah, I mean, that's almost perfect setup, I think.
What do you think I think about this?
Oh, you hate it.
I don't hate it. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
I hate white. Look
at me on the DJ.
Yeah. So here's the perspective I try to take is that we go to DJ conventions and we see white stuff as DJs and we lose our collective minds, right? These guys brought in the Pioneer, the 1000 SRT in white, and we all stopped business to like, it's in white.
Yeah.
As DJs, we think that's awesome. I think the thing I'm learning is that for outside of our industry, the people looking out in, white is not the preference. That clients and venue people and other professionals, their preference is that the DJ disappears more, right?
So if you take off those the fabric that they have, and change that to black.
Oh, if you took every piece of this, you give me that pedestal in black, you put black socks on the truss, and give me those evolves in black, and I'm with you guys that this is dope.
So it's again, it's the white factor.
It is. I think that it's going to date it to this time that we're going to remember. Remember when, You go to a DJ show and everything you bought was in white. Like every booth you stop by, they're trying to sell whatever the thing is in white.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're going to look back at the 2020s or the late 2010s and remember that was a thing.
So is your hang up, hey me, I'm looking at the DJ, and white accentuates that?
Yep.
So we've been wanting this to happen as DJs. We've wanted pop culture. We've wanted our audience to look at the DJ as an entertainer.
Right.
As a focal point.
Yep.
So
I think the talent should be that. And what people outside of because you're right, what DJs want, we want to be appreciated, right? And so that's why I think we have the visceral reaction we do when we see white gear is because it is more of a spotlight thing. And look, there are amazing DJs. DJ Joe Bunn, who in my mind is the epitome of a successful business. And in many ways, we modeled our business, not all the way. I think we're innovative as well. But he uses all white gear. He just did a vlog where he did a vlog of a gig logger, as he call it, where his stuff's all in white. So people like that. I think that you're right, though, that as DJs, we want to be appreciated for our talent. And which is why we like things in white. But what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to hear outside of the echo chamber of all DJs saying what's cool is that clients and venue people and other people that that are stakeholders in either referring us or being involved in the event, they prefer that we put out gear that more blends into the surroundings instead of trying to be the surrounding. So, yeah, to me, if you took all of this and you put black socks and there were black speakers and a black pedestal, so it more our talent center. I think the lights are dope. I think that you want to see the effect. You want to see, like, it's for me, it's like I want the uplighting to show the venue, not 6 uplights pointed at me. The venue should be lit up, not me. This is that same idea, is that, look, I want what people remember to be my talent, not the white. It's not a big deal. Look, I'm still going to score this. I'm going to give it right now.
The DJ's just flexing.
I'm going to.
So I gotta be
exactly
honest.
right.
They're just flexing.
I gotta be
that's
honest with you. Like when I looked at this, like I didn't even really notice the white fabric. Like I was looking more like, hey, this DJ was smart enough and modern enough to take their lighting and put it on top of this truss tower,
Totally
which
true.
is a modern thing to do.
Totally
They
true.
have a modern booth. They're not using
Yes.
a banquet
Yes.
table. Which unfortunately, there's a lot of DJs that are not doing any of that stuff still.
Exactly.
This
No.
day
And
and age.
don't take this as me thinking this is not a good setup. This is the best one we've seen.
I mean,
it
I
might be the
agree-
best one we've seen ever in the history of
Ever.
doing this.
I agree with you on the DJ blending into the background, but this person was very innovative comparative to a lot of what's out there.
Sure.
Here's my issue, is that we as DJs, right, we want everyone who hears us, we want them, because we're not the for so long the DJ has just been kind of like in the back scenes, backstage, right?
We're the last person they hire.
But even just thinking of the DJ as who they are and what role that they play in an event. But we've had video games. We've had now. I mean, think of multiple different DJs. You have Skrillex, Avicii. I mean, Stevie. The list goes on, right? They have these concerts now.
The DJ is
my
the
God,
headliner.
They're the headliner, and they're selling out, right?
Sure.
So the DJ, coupled with all of that,
We
the
live in a
pop
DJ
culture.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So now the DJ they're a spectacle, right? So they shouldn't be the spectacle at an event,
So
but they are.
the expectation though has changed, right? The expectation of what the DJ has changed now.
in the eyes of the consumer.
Yes.
If the people had come to this event, had paid to see the DJ, I'm doing this.
Maybe because this setup looks like
But they haven't
setups that we've seen before.
But they haven't paid to see the DJ.
I agree with you though. Like the expectation has changed, and so the DJ needs to change with that. But there's a way to meet the expectation and also blend into the
I think
background.
you can do
too.
both. I think that you can be the centerpiece of the entertainment, but
Yes,
not
I agree.
like scream that you have to.
Yes,
I agree.
And
I agree.
9 times out of 10, we're not in a market where DJ. I mean, we are getting flown into different cities, but we are not an attraction. I mean, the
Right.
couple isn't going around to. Oh, maybe they are going around to their friends and and family members. Hey, Adam Dibble's going to be at my wedding, or Rich Cranston, or they might be.
Sweet.
But I
I
mean,
hope
like
so.
I just don't know that. So because of that, is all right. Yeah, we should not be this
Right.
loud. I just was challenging because the vision of the DJ has risen
Right.
in the last several years of what the DJ should be.
And why we like the white is because it does make it stand out. I just need to think sometimes, as a business person, as running your business, I have to think about what do the stakeholders in hiring me think, or the stakeholders in referring me think. And I think there's no one who's not going to think this is dope. But if this was this in black, I think you're making everybody happy. You're going to make
I agree with
venue
you.
manager, the client happy. I mean, I wish our setup looked like this. I just would want it all black.
I agree with you. I think for me, it was more just that this person clearly was innovative enough
Oh,
to go
of
beyond
course.
using a banquet table and a banquet linen.
Again, allow me to say we've done, I don't know, 8 or 9 episodes of this.
It's by far the best.
It's by far the best.
By far.
No qualification. This has been the best one we've seen.
Mickey, send him a T-shirt.
Yeah, but if I'm
Send
just
me a
being honest,
t-shirt.
I'd want. If it were me, I'd want it all in black.
I'm going to score it 9.5. I never give perfect 10-0s. 9.5 is my highest rating.
It's a 9 for me.
I'm
it'd be a
going
9.5.
to give it a 9.
All right,
There it
that
is.
was Setup Wars.
Another episode of Setup Wars
Thanks
in
for
the
our boy,
log.
AD.
Adam Dibbles. If you want to connect with Adam, it's what's your
I'm
socials?
at Adam Dibbs on Instagram. Find me there.
And he does make skinny jeans look good.
And you can, you know it's him DJing because he likes all his stuff in white. All right, that's it for us. Another episode of The Real DJ Show is in the books. We want you along every time, so make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the little bell so you get notifications of all of our new content. We know you're DJs and have a lot to say, so jump in the comment section to join the debate. If you have content suggestions or you want your DJ company featured on The One Thing, email us at TheRealDJShow at rochesterdj.com. Lastly, if you're sick enough that you want to take the audio of this with you wherever you go, you can find the audio everywhere quality podcasts are found. All right, that's it for us. Show's over, bitches.